Austin Fritts, a phenomenon in the digital space with a staggering presence across social platforms, boasting over 137,000 followers on Instagram and around a whopping 350,000 on TikTok. With more than 3 billion views under his belt, Fritts isn't just another influencer. He's an NBA aficionado known for his jaw-dropping dunks that rival those of professional stars. In his high school days, Fritts wasn't just playing basketball. He was an attraction, drawing crowds with his dynamic play and highlight reel dunks. What sets him apart? It's his unique blend of agility and an unexpected explosive power, making him a rangy wing with some seriously deceptive bounce. This guy moves with such fluidity, always finding ways to stay active and impactful without needing the ball in his hands. But today, we're going to focus on the exclusive interview Fritts had with Essentially Sports. And how could the talk proceed without talking about the March Madness? Let's learn about Fritts' thoughts on collegiate basketball.
I mean, growing up, always watched it. It's the best time of the year. Other than, the NBA playoffs and stuff like that, this is definitely when someone that loves basketball is tuned in. So I remember in classes growing up, like, 7th, 8th through the high school times, like throwing it on during our little breaks on the big like projector screen and stuff like that. So always loved to be.
But did you know the story of how Fritts came to be a pro dunker? Fritts recalled the moment his passion for dunking ignited during his sophomore year of high school, despite initially lacking the ability to dunk. He described a pivotal game experience where, in attempting a rebound, he unintentionally almost dunked over another player. This unexpected feat sparked a realization of his potential in dunking. Motivated by this experience and the crowd's reaction, especially given his unassuming appearance, he dedicated himself to improving. By the end of his sophomore year, he successfully mastered the art of the alley-oop dunk, delighting spectators and defying expectations. Being one of the celebrated influencers of the Hoopverse comes with perks, including invites to the games and entry to special places. Yep, including the All-Star stuff.
How was your All-Star experience and how did you get your invite? Talk us through the storyline.
So with All-Star Weekend, stuff like that, being an influencer, there's a ton of stuff like going on. There's a bunch of activations and stuff like that. So I had invites from different companies to come out and spend some time. And one of my connects, as I've done a ton of stuff in the NBA, one of my connects named Scott, he was able to hook me up with the rehearsals for the dunk contest, the 3-point contest, and the skills comp on the new floor in a 75,000. It was a football stadium that they did the dunk contest in. So it was I've done stuff in an NBA arena, but when you get into a football stadium with a basketball court, it's not even the same. It's way bigger. And so, I was able to be a part of doing that. And it's something you dream about, like growing up wanting to always play in the NBA. Now I get to do this, 3-point contest live with TNT and be able to dunk with this floor that it just explodes. Like, it's not something that they've ever done before. So it's super cool to be a part of.
The craziest part of it all? He went into the arena without rehearsals or warm-ups, just straight up basketball. The boys then daydreamed about pitting two All-Stars against each other in a 1v1, choosing Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo as their champions. They didn't forget LeBron and Joel, if you're wondering.
Jokic is definitely my favorite player to watch. From
Antetokounmpo and Jokic.
That would be crazy.
Nuts.
I think Joel Embiid was hurt, but if I could see like a LeBron Joel Embiid 1v1, that would be pretty crazy.
That'd be amazing. Amazing.
Honestly, that would indeed be interesting to watch, don't you think? Then came the discussion of this year's dunk contest.
What do you think about this year's dunk contest? How'd it go?
I think it was okay. I think Mac McClung, them bringing him in, is definitely a huge piece, even though he's not strictly NBA based,
right.
But within the G League. Yeah, he killed it. I mean, he jumped over 2 people, jumped over Shaq. I think going from the Jaylen Brown experience, like that was, he jumped over somebody that was already like 5 feet tall, and then he was sitting down. I think there needs to be more creativeness, but I think what's coming is something new. I can't really gauge what the dunk contest is going to look like, but I do think it needs something new. I also think maybe we start throwing around some money to people to win it. Like,
oh yeah,
let's get John Moran in here. Let's get Anthony Edwards, because that's what I think that's what the NBA wants to see. I think that's what the fans want to see. It's finding a way to get those people implemented.
With the mention of Jaylen Brown, talks about the recent controversies weren't too far behind.
And you brought up Jaylen Brown. The dunk contest drew a lot of controversy. What are your views on it?
I think judging wise, there wasn't a lot of it was just very back and forth. Like there was dunks that were done that 100% deserved what they were, and then there were some that didn't align. It didn't align. So I think that judging is a huge piece, and obviously it's opinion based, but I think there needs to be more consistency from back and forth.
So you think they should go to school? We should start training the actual judges, like bring in real refs.
Hey man, I don't know if they make refs for dunking, but they should.
Soon, the talks shifted towards the best dunker in the NBA.
So who's the best dunker in the league right now, the NBA, and which dunkers over time have personally influenced you?
Being a Denver fan, you'd think it would be Aaron Gordon, but get ready to be surprised.
I think that the best dunker right now, aside from the fact that John Morant is injured, because I think he is the best dunker, Anthony Edwards, I mean, the dunk he had the other night was remarkable. One of the best dunks I've ever seen. Like, I lost my mind. I thought about it before I went to bed. I woke up thinking about it. It was a crazy dunk. And then to go on who's influenced me, Derrick Rose. He was a 6'2", 6'3" guard. Back in high school, I was 6'3", 6'4". So that is point guard height, especially when you get to the higher levels. And he kind of influenced that point guard having a ton of bounce. So Derrick Rose for sure.
Now, coming to the importance of dunking in the NBA, Fritts denied it being the #1 thing. He reasoned that with Steph Curry's marksmanship and the three-pointer shots claiming importance in the modern basketball, dunking couldn't get the most importance. Furthermore, he claimed that there isn't a single player who cannot dunk. Like, seriously. Is there? However important dunking might be, as per Fritts, it ain't the most important thing in basketball.
I don't think it's the #1 thing, right? I think especially with the new time of Stephen Curry coming in and the three-pointer being so important, I think that's first, but I don't think that there's anybody in the NBA that can't dunk. I think every single player, like we would struggle to find somebody that can't, even the smaller guys. Yeah. They still can dunk or have dunked in their lifetime. So
right.
I think at the higher level, everybody's doing it, so it is an important piece, but I don't think it's the most important.
But who's going to be the MVP this year? Well, although he admitted that Jokic is giving some crazy performances, he might not receive a second consecutive MVP, right? The same was the case with LeBron James, else he would have gotten 5 MVPs in a row. After giving his hopes to Jokic, Fritts affirmed that Jason Tatum might be the one in line to get the MVP this year.
Who's going to be the MVP this year back in the NBA?
Jokic is still doing some crazy things. No way that they're going to give him another one. Like that's what I want, but it just same with LeBron growing up. Like that guy could have gotten 5 in a row. I hope it's Jokic just because I am a Denver guy. But maybe Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's playing at a high level. Yeah. So, and Boston's on the run as well. So, right. It's kind of up in the air, but I'm hoping Jokic. Doubt they're good at it.
But when it came to the Lakers and Warriors, well, things were as expected.
Lakers and the Warriors can make the playoffs this year?
If they get their heads on straight. Those two teams, I don't ever doubt. I'll never. Right. They always find their way, especially like LeBron. Like I will never in my life, if somebody says LeBron's not going to do something, I'm like, he probably is. Like it's just what he does. So.
Yep. And then came the big stuff. Yep, you guessed it. A conversation about Caitlin Clark effect.
What do you think about Caitlin Clark? The Caitlin Clark effect. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's good for basketball. It's great for women's basketball. She has me tuned in. I mean, if she's playing, I'm locked. Yeah. But I think women's basketball, women's NBA and NCAA is just climbed drastically from an attention standpoint, and people are finally paying the attention that they should to these players because they're absolutely unbelievable.
The conversation jumped back to the March Madness. And how can the talks about the March Madness proceed without bringing up the brackets?
With March Madness going on right now, have you filled out a bracket?
I have. Yeah, it's gone. It's done.
Did you have Kentucky? What happened?
Yeah, I definitely had Kentucky winning. Kentucky's had a bad run the last few years, so I didn't expect them to go too far, but I didn't expect that. So,
who do you have winning?
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
The main question still remained. It was indeed the GOAT debate between MJ and LeBron. The two men blindly picked LeBron, but who do you guys think is the actual GOAT? Let us know in the comments down below. Austin Fritts has solidified his reputation as an exceptional dunker, captivating fans with his dynamic athleticism and innovative dunking style. His journey from a high school sensation to a social media dunking icon showcases his dedication and passion for basketball. And this exclusive was all that the Hoopverse needed to get close to the pro dunker. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to NBA Bling. Until next time, never ever forget to shoot your shot.